You know the relationship hurt you. You remember the broken promises, the mixed signals, and the moments when you felt alone even while the person was close. Still, part of you wants to go back. This can feel confusing. You may ask yourself, why do I miss someone who caused me pain? You may feel angry with yourself because your mind understands the truth, but your emotions seem to move in another direction. There is a reason for this. The mind does not hold pain and love in separate boxes. It can connect comfort, hope, fear, memory, and longing to the same person. That is why leaving can feel harder than staying, even when staying is painful. You may not only miss the person, you may miss the good moments. You may miss who you were when the relationship felt close. You may miss the future you imagined. You may still hope that one day the person will become who you needed them to be. Hope can keep a bond alive long after trust has been damaged. Familiar pain can also feel safer than uncertainty. You already know the pattern. You know the apologies, the silence, the return, and the next disappointment. The cycle hurts, but it is known. A new life feels empty at first because it has not yet become familiar. This does not mean the relationship was healthy. It means your mind is trying to make sense of a strong emotional connection. The goal of this audiobook is not to shame you. It is not here to tell you that your feelings are foolish. Your attachment may have grown slowly. Your hope may have been real. Your pain may still be fresh. You need understanding before you can create change. In the next chapters, we will look at why familiar pain can feel safe, why good memories become powerful, and why mixed signals can make attachment stronger. We will also explore loneliness, emotional dependence, and the steps that help you rebuild yourself. Letting go is not one decision. It is a series of small decisions that teach your mind a new truth. You can miss someone and still choose distance. You can love someone and still admit that the relationship is hurting you. You can remember the good without returning to the same cycle. Healing begins when you stop asking only, "Do I still care?" A better question is, what happens to me when I stay connected to this person? That question may change everything. Chapter 1: Why Familiar Pain Feels Safe. People often think they return because they are weak. The real reason can be more complicated. The mind likes what it knows. Familiar things feel easier to predict, even when they are not good for you. This is why a painful relationship can sometimes feel safer than a quiet life without that person. The pain is known. You know how the person reacts when they are angry. You know how long the silence may last. You know how the apology usually sounds. You know what happens when they come back. That knowledge gives the mind a strange sense of control. A new life does not give the same feeling. After leaving, there may be silence. There may be empty evenings, fewer messages, and more time to think. You may not know what comes next. The unknown can feel more frightening than a familiar problem. This is especially true if difficult relationships were normal in your early life. Maybe love and tension often appeared together. Perhaps care was followed by criticism. Maybe affection changed quickly, or you had to work hard to keep peace. When this happens, the nervous system can learn that closeness includes stress. Later, calm relationships may feel unusual. You may even mistake peace for boredom because your body is used to emotional intensity. This does not mean you want pain. It means your system recognizes the pattern. The mind often confuses familiar with safe. That confusion can be changed, but first you need to notice it. Ask yourself how you feel during calm moments. Do you relax, or do you start waiting for something to go wrong? Do stable people feel trustworthy, or do they seem less exciting? Do you feel pulled toward people who are hard to understand? These questions can reveal what your mind has learned about love. Familiar pain also creates routine. You may check the person's messages at certain times. You may think about them after work, before sleep, or when something goes wrong. Their presence becomes connected to your daily life. When the relationship ends, the routine disappears. The mind can mistake the loss of routine for the loss of love. You may feel restless because your day no longer follows the same emotional pattern. That restlessness can make you want contact, even if the contact usually leads to more pain. This is why healing needs new routines. You cannot only remove the person. You need to fill the empty spaces with something healthier. Call a trusted friend. Take a walk during the time you usually checked for messages. Write down what you are feeling. Work on a task that gives your mind direction. These actions may feel small, but they teach your brain that life can continue in a different rhythm. Familiar pain can also feel safer because you know how to play your role. Maybe you are the one who forgives. Maybe you are the one who explains, waits, or tries to fix everything. That role can become part of your identity. If you stop the cycle, you may have to ask who you are without it. This can feel uncomfortable. You may realize that you spent a lot of time trying to save the relationship. You may have ignored your own goals, friendships, health, or confidence. Leaving means facing the parts of your life that were waiting in the background. That is difficult, but it is also where freedom begins. You are not only leaving a person, you are leaving a role. You are learning that love does not require you to stay confused, tired, or afraid. The mind needs repeated proof before it accepts a new kind of safety. One calm day may feel empty. 10 calm days may feel strange. After enough time, calm can start feeling like peace. You must give the new life enough time to become familiar. This is where many people return too soon. They feel the emptiness of the first days and assume the relationship was better than it was. They do not stay away long enough to experience the other side of the discomfort. The early stage of healing is not proof that you made the wrong choice. It is often proof that your system is adjusting. When the urge to return appears, do not treat it as a command. Notice it. Name what feels familiar. Ask whether you miss the person, the routine, the hope, or the role you played. The answer may be different each time. You do not have to fight the feeling. You only need to avoid letting one feeling decide your future. Familiar pain can feel safe, but real safety has different signs. It includes respect. It includes consistency. It allows you to speak honestly. It does not make you question your value every week. The old pattern may feel known. That does not make it home. Chapter 2: The Power of Good Memories. Painful relationships are rarely painful every moment. That is one reason they are hard to leave. There may have been laughter, comfort, affection, shared dreams, and moments when you felt deeply understood. Those memories matter. They can stay bright even after the relationship becomes unhealthy. When you feel lonely, the mind often returns to the best moments first. It remembers the day they supported you, the message that made you smile, or the time you believed everything would work out. The mind can become selective. It may hide the weeks of confusion and show you one beautiful memory again and again. This does not happen because you are trying to lie to yourself. Memory is connected to emotion. When you miss someone, the mind searches for memories that match the feeling. If you feel longing, it may bring forward moments of closeness. That is why you can know the relationship was painful and still feel warmth when you remember certain parts. The problem begins when one good memory is used to erase a repeated pattern. A person may have been kind sometimes. That does not cancel the times they ignored your needs, broke trust, or made you feel unsafe. Both truths can exist together. The good was real. The harm was also real. Healing requires you to hold both. Some people return because they believe the good version of the person is the real version. They see the hurtful behavior as temporary, while the loving moments feel more important. This can keep hope alive. You tell yourself, they can be so caring. Yes, they may be able to, but a healthy relationship is not measured only by someone's best moments. It is measured by the pattern. How do they treat you when they are stressed? Do they take responsibility after hurting you? Do they change behavior or only offer words? Can you trust the relationship over time? These questions matter more than one perfect weekend. Good memories also become powerful when they are connected to your identity. Maybe the relationship began during an important period in your life. Perhaps the person knew you before a major change. Maybe you built routines, friendships, or plans around them. Letting go may feel like losing a part of your own story. You may think, if I leave this behind, what happens to all those years? The years do not disappear. The memories still belong to you. You do not need to return in order to prove that the past mattered. A relationship can be meaningful and still need to end. This is a difficult truth, but it can bring peace. Not everything valuable must last forever. Some relationships teach you what love feels like. Others teach you what you can no longer accept. Both lessons may shape you. The danger is turning the past into a promise about the future. A good memory shows what happened once. It does not guarantee what will happen next. You may also miss the person you were at the beginning. Maybe you felt hopeful, open, and excited. You may think returning to the relationship will bring that version of you back. Usually it does not. That version of you was connected to possibility. You can rebuild hope without rebuilding the same relationship. The energy you miss may be yours, not theirs. This is important. Sometimes you think the person gave you joy, courage, or confidence, but those qualities may have already existed inside you. The relationship gave them a place to appear. You can create new places for them. Good memories can be respected without becoming instructions. You can say that moment was beautiful and still choose not to return. You can say, I cared deeply, and still admit that care was not enough to make the relationship healthy. One practical way to balance memory is to write 2 lists. On the first list, write what you genuinely miss. Be honest. On the second list, write what repeatedly hurt you. Include behaviors, not only feelings. For example, they disappeared during conflict. They promised change but repeated the same action. I felt anxious most of the time. I stopped trusting my own judgment. I became smaller to keep peace. Read both lists when nostalgia becomes strong. The goal is not to destroy every good memory. The goal is to prevent one memory from rewriting the whole story. You may also notice that certain places, songs, dates, or smells bring the past back quickly. These triggers can feel powerful. Do not panic when they appear. A memory is not a sign that you should return. It is simply the mind connecting the present with the past. Breathe. Name what is happening. Let the memory pass without building a decision around it. Over time, the emotional charge can become smaller. The memory remains, but it stops controlling your direction. You are allowed to keep the good. You are also allowed to leave the pattern. That balance is part of healing. Chapter 3: Why Mixed Signals Create Strong Attachment. Clear rejection hurts. Mixed signals can be even harder. When a person is loving one day and distant the next, the mind keeps searching for an answer. You begin watching closely. You study their tone, messages, timing, and behavior. You want to understand which version is real. This uncertainty can create strong attachment. The mind becomes focused on getting back to the good moment. A kind message feels more powerful after a period of silence. An apology feels more emotional after a painful fight. A small act of affection can feel like proof that everything may finally change. The contrast makes the reward feel stronger. You may begin living from one good moment to the next. This pattern can be difficult to break because the positive moments are unpredictable. You do not know when they will come. That uncertainty keeps your attention active. You may check your phone more often. You may replay conversations. You may become very sensitive to small changes. The relationship begins taking up more mental space than a stable relationship would. This is not always a sign of deeper love. It may be a sign of deeper uncertainty. Stable care often feels quieter. You know where you stand. You do not need to earn basic respect every week. Mixed signals create a different experience. They keep you trying. You may think, if I say the right thing, maybe they will become close again. Or if I become easier, calmer, more attractive, or more patient, maybe the good version will stay. This creates self-blame. You start treating the other person's inconsistency as a problem you must solve. That is exhausting. A relationship cannot become stable through one person's effort alone. Both people need honesty, consistency, and responsibility. If one person keeps changing the rules, the other person may become trapped in constant adjustment. Mixed signals also create hope because there is never a clean ending. A person may say they are unsure. They may leave and return. They may say they care but are not ready. They may ask for distance, then become upset when you move on. This keeps the emotional door open. You may remain loyal to a future that has never become real. The mind prefers a clear answer, but mixed signals do not give one. So you create your own explanation. You may focus on their pain, childhood, stress, fear, or confusion. These things may be real. Understanding someone can create compassion, but understanding the reason for harmful behavior does not remove the effect of the behavior. A person can be wounded and still wound you. A person can care and still be unable to offer a healthy relationship. Compassion should not require self-abandonment. This is where boundaries become important. Instead of asking only what the person feels, ask what they consistently do. Words can be sincere in the moment. Patterns reveal capacity. If someone says they love you but repeatedly creates confusion, the confusion is part of the relationship. If someone promises change but avoids the work, the avoidance is also part of the relationship. You need to evaluate the whole pattern. Another reason mixed signals feel strong is that they activate hope and fear at the same time. Hope says maybe this time will be different. Fear says if I leave now, I may lose the good part forever. This emotional tension can feel intense. Some people mistake intensity for connection. Intensity may feel powerful, but it does not always create safety. A healthy bond can include passion, but it also includes reliability. You should not need constant emotional pain to feel close. If mixed signals are keeping you attached, clarity may need to come from you. You may never receive the perfect explanation. The person may not be able to give a clear answer. You can still decide based on the effect of the pattern. Ask, do I feel respected? Do I feel emotionally safe? Can I trust what is said? Is the relationship improving through real action? Am I becoming healthier or more anxious? These questions return your attention to reality. You may care about the person's feelings. Your feelings also matter. You may understand their struggle. Your peace also matters. Leaving mixed signals can feel cruel because the relationship never gave you a final clear moment. You may think you need one more conversation. Sometimes a conversation helps. Sometimes one more becomes another turn in the same cycle. Clarity is not always something the other person gives you. Sometimes clarity is the decision to stop living inside confusion. That decision can hurt. It can also be the beginning of peace. Chapter 4, Loneliness, Hope, and the Fear of Letting Go. Many people do not return because the relationship became healthy. They return because the silence became painful. After a strong emotional bond ends, daily life can feel empty. There may be no morning message, no familiar voice, and no person to call when something happens. Even if the relationship caused stress, it also filled space. When that space becomes quiet, loneliness can feel like a reason to go back. But loneliness is not always a message that the relationship was right. Sometimes it is simply the feeling of transition. You left an old life, but the new one has not fully formed. This middle stage is uncomfortable. The old connection is gone, and the new routines, friendships, and sense of self are still weak. You may feel as if you belong nowhere. That feeling can make the past look better than it was. The mind says, at least I was not alone. But being connected and being emotionally safe are different. You can sit beside someone and still feel unseen. You can receive messages all day and still feel unimportant. You can have a relationship and still carry deep loneliness. Returning may remove silence for a moment, but it may not remove the deeper emptiness. This is why healing must include connection, not only distance. You may need trusted friends, family, a support group, a counselor, or a community built around healthy interests. You need places where you can be seen without performing. At first, asking for support may feel difficult. You may worry that people are tired of hearing about the situation. You may feel ashamed that you still miss the person. You may believe you should be stronger by now. Healing does not follow a perfect schedule. You are allowed to need support. The important thing is to seek support that helps you move forward, not support that keeps the cycle alive. Some conversations help you understand. Other conversations repeat the same pain without creating direction. Try to notice the difference. Hope is another powerful reason people return. You may not be attached only to who the person is. You may be attached to who they could become. You remember their potential. You remember the promises. You imagine a future where they finally understand, finally change, and finally give you the love you kept waiting for. That imagined future can feel more real than the present. It may keep you connected to a relationship that exists mainly in hope. Hope is not bad, but hope needs evidence. Real change has signs. The person takes responsibility without being forced. They stop blaming you for their behavior. They seek help when needed. They respect your boundaries. Their actions become different over time. Words can begin change. Only repeated behavior proves it. If you have heard the same promise many times, hope may be protecting the cycle. You may think leaving means giving up too early. Ask yourself how long you have already waited. Ask what has actually changed. Ask whether you are loving a real relationship or a future idea. These questions can be painful. They can also save years. Fear of regret may keep you attached as well. You may think, what if they change after I leave? That possibility can feel unbearable, but you cannot build your life around what someone may become. You need to respond to the relationship that exists now. If the person changes in the future, that change will belong to them. Your responsibility is to protect your well-being in the present. You may also fear that you will never find another connection. This fear becomes stronger when confidence is low. A painful relationship can slowly make you believe that you are difficult to love. You may think the current person is your only chance, even when they treat you poorly. That belief is not a fact. It may be the result of living too long inside a bond that reduced your self-worth. You do not need to find another relationship immediately. The first goal is not replacement. The first goal is recovery. Learn how to feel safe in your own company. Build a life with structure, purpose, and healthy connection. The stronger your life becomes, the less likely you are to return only because you feel empty. Letting go also means grieving. You may need to grieve the person, the good memories, the future you imagined, and the version of yourself that kept hoping. Grief is not proof that leaving was wrong. It is proof that something mattered. Allow the sadness without using it as a bridge back to the same harm. Write, cry, talk, rest, walk through the feeling. Do not rush to remove every painful emotion. Some pain needs to be felt before it becomes smaller. The fear of letting go often comes from the belief that letting go means the relationship meant nothing. That is not true. You can honor what was real and still choose an ending. You can accept that you loved someone without making love the only condition for staying. A healthy relationship needs more than love. It needs trust, respect, responsibility, safety, and shared effort. When those things are missing, love can become a reason to suffer instead of a place to grow. Loneliness may tell you to return. Hope may tell you to wait. Fear may tell you that nothing better will come. Listen to the feelings, but do not let them make the whole decision. Feelings are information. They are not always instructions. Chapter 5, Love or Emotional Dependence. Love and emotional dependence can feel similar. Both can create longing, closeness, and fear of loss. The difference becomes clearer when you look at what the bond does to your life. Healthy love allows two people to remain whole. There is care, but there is also space. There is connection, but there is also respect. You can speak honestly without believing the relationship will disappear after every disagreement. Emotional dependence feels more fragile. Your mood may depend heavily on the other person's attention. A late reply can ruin your day. A small change in tone can create panic. You may feel unable to focus when the relationship feels uncertain. The bond begins controlling more areas of your life. You may neglect sleep, work, friendships, health, or goals because your mind is always busy with the person. You may call this deep love. Sometimes it is fear. A useful question is, who do I become inside this relationship? Do you become calmer, clearer, and more honest? Or do you become anxious, watchful, and afraid to express your needs? Love should not require you to disappear. Emotional dependence often grows when one person becomes your main source of comfort, value, and identity. You stop building support in other places. You may lose contact with friends. You may stop doing activities that once mattered. You may believe that without this person, there will be nothing. That belief gives the relationship enormous power. No one person should carry your entire emotional life. This does not mean you should avoid closeness. It means your life needs more than one source of meaning. Friendship, work, learning, creativity, health, family, faith, service, and personal goals can all support identity. When those areas become weak, the relationship can feel like your only home. Leaving then feels like losing everything. Another sign of dependence is tolerating behavior that you would never recommend to someone you love. Imagine a close friend describing the same relationship. Would you tell them to accept the confusion? Would you say the broken promises are normal? Would you ask them to keep proving their worth? Sometimes we give others better advice because we are not trapped inside the attachment. Try to borrow that outside view. Write the situation as if it belongs to someone else. Read it slowly. The pattern may become clearer. Emotional dependence can also create a rescue fantasy. You may believe your love will heal the person. You may think that if you stay patient enough, they will finally feel safe and change. Compassion is valuable, but love cannot do another person's work for them. You cannot force honesty. You cannot create responsibility inside someone who keeps avoiding it. You cannot build a healthy relationship alone. When you try, the bond becomes unequal. You carry both people. You explain their behavior, forgive quickly, and wait again. This can feel noble. It can also destroy your energy. Another question is, can I choose freely or am I acting from fear? Healthy love includes choice. Dependence feels like you have no choice. You may know the relationship hurts you, but the thought of leaving feels impossible. You may return after every break because the emotional discomfort feels too strong. This is why recovery often requires distance. Distance allows the nervous system to calm. It gives your mind time to see the pattern without being pulled back by each new message or promise. Distance may include no contact, limited contact, or clear practical boundaries, depending on the situation. If you share children, work, housing, or legal responsibilities, complete distance may not be possible. In those cases, support and a clear communication structure can help. If there is abuse, threats, stalking, or violence, safety comes first. Seek help from trusted people, local services, or qualified professionals. Leaving can require planning, and you do not have to handle that risk alone. Emotional dependence is not a reason for shame. It often grows from unmet needs, low self-trust, fear of abandonment, or a long period of instability. Those patterns can be worked on. Begin by rebuilding parts of yourself that became smaller. Return to friends who are safe. Restart one activity that belonged to you. Create a daily routine that does not depend on the person. Make choices without checking how they may react. These steps may feel small, but they return pieces of identity. Love says, I care about you, and I also care about what this relationship is doing to both of us. Dependence says, I cannot lose you even if I lose myself. That difference is important. You are allowed to choose a love that does not require self-loss. Chapter 6. Stop romanticizing the past. The past becomes dangerous when memory turns it into a story that was better than reality. This often happens after separation. The mind removes the repeated stress and keeps the beautiful parts. You remember the laughter, the first messages, the comfort, and the plans. The difficult pattern becomes less clear. You may begin to think, maybe it was not that bad. This thought can pull you back. The goal is not to make the past ugly. The goal is to remember it honestly. A healthy memory includes the full picture. It includes what felt good. It also includes what happened repeatedly. Ask yourself what the relationship felt like on an average week, not only on its best day. Did you feel secure? Could you trust the person? Did you feel respected during conflict? Were your needs taken seriously? Did you spend more time feeling calm or confused? These questions bring you back to the pattern. Romanticizing the past often grows during loneliness. When the present feels empty, the past becomes attractive. The mind compares today's silence with yesterday's best memory. That comparison is unfair. You are comparing a difficult present moment with a selected highlight. Healing is not supposed to feel exciting every day. Some days will feel slow. Some evenings will feel empty. That does not mean the old relationship was better. It means the new life is still being built. Social media can make romanticizing worse. You may check the person's profile and see a smiling photo. You may notice that they look happy, confident, or changed. A single image can create a whole story in your mind. You do not know the full reality. A photo does not show patterns. It does not show responsibility, honesty, or private behavior. Checking may give you information, but it often gives your attachment new energy. If you are trying to heal, reducing access can help. Mute the account. Remove old conversations from easy view. Put photos into a folder you do not open every night. These actions are not childish. They create space for the emotional system to settle. You may worry that removing reminders means denying the past. It does not. You are choosing when and how you engage with the memory. That is a boundary. Another way to stop romanticizing is to remember how you felt, not only what the person said. Words may have been beautiful. Promises may have sounded sincere. But what happened inside your body? Were you often tense? Did you feel the need to check, prove, explain, or wait? Did you lose sleep? Did you question your value? Your emotional experience is part of the truth. Do not erase it because the person had good intentions sometimes. Intent matters. Impact also matters. A relationship can contain love and still be harmful. That sentence may be difficult to accept because people often think love should be enough. Love is important. It does not replace respect, trust, safety, and consistent behavior. You may also romanticize the person's potential. You remember moments when they seemed ready to change. You imagine what the relationship could have become if they had healed, matured, or kept their promises. Potential can be beautiful. It can also keep you attached to someone who is not living that potential. You need to relate to who the person is now, not who they may become in 5 years, not who they were during the first month, not who they are after one apology. Reality is found in repeated action. There is another form of romanticizing. You may tell yourself that suffering proved the love was deep. Movies and stories often make painful love look meaningful. They show sacrifice, waiting, and emotional struggle as signs of devotion. Real life needs a different standard. Pain may be part of love at times. Constant confusion should not be the main language of the relationship. You do not have to suffer deeply to prove that you care. You do not have to keep returning to prove loyalty. Loyalty without self-respect becomes self-abandonment. A useful practice is to create a reality note. Write a short, honest description of why you left or why the relationship was unhealthy. Keep it simple. Do not write only when you are angry. Write when you are calm. Include facts. For example, we had good moments, but the pattern was unstable. Trust was broken several times. I became anxious and lost focus. Promises were repeated without lasting change. I do not want to live inside that pattern again. Read the note when nostalgia becomes strong. This is not about creating hate. It is about protecting clarity. You can also create a future note. Write what you want a healthy relationship to feel like. You may want honesty, calm, affection, consistency, mutual effort, and respect during conflict. Compare that future with the old pattern. This helps the mind understand that leaving is not only loss. It is also space. Space for a healthier life. Space for better relationships. Space for the version of you that had become quiet. The past may always contain good memories. That is okay. You do not need to remove them. You only need to stop using them as evidence that you should return. A memory can be meaningful without becoming your future. Chapter 7. Leave the cycle and rebuild yourself. Leaving a painful cycle is not only about staying away. It is about building a life that no longer needs the cycle. If you only remove the person but keep the same loneliness, low self-worth, empty routine, and fear, the old bond may remain very powerful. Rebuilding gives your mind another place to belong. Begin with structure. Painful attachments often create emotional chaos. Your sleep changes. Your focus becomes weak. You may stop eating well, exercising, working, or caring for your space. Simple routines can create safety. Wake up at a regular time. Eat something useful. Move your body. Complete one important task. Keep your environment clean enough to reduce stress. These actions may seem unrelated to the relationship. They are not. They remind your nervous system that your life is larger than one person. Rebuilding also means returning to your identity. Ask what you stopped doing during the relationship. Did you stop meeting friends? Did you lose interest in a hobby? Did you ignore a goal? Did you become quieter? Choose one part and bring it back. Do not wait for strong motivation. Begin gently. Read for 10 minutes. Call one friend. Return to the gym. Continue a course. Work on the idea you kept delaying. Each action tells your mind, I still exist outside this bond. You also need emotional honesty. Some days you will miss the person. Some days you may feel angry. Other days you may feel relieved. These feelings can appear together. Do not force yourself to choose one simple story. Healing is often mixed. You can feel love and disappointment. You can feel sadness and freedom. You can miss the person and still know that distance is healthier. Allowing mixed feelings reduces shame. You are not failing because you still care. You are healing when you stop turning care into automatic return. Support matters during this process. Choose people who help you stay connected to reality. A good support person does not only say, forget them. They listen, remind you of the pattern, and help you take care of yourself. Professional support may also help, especially if the relationship involved trauma, abuse, deep fear, or repeated difficulty leaving. Seeking help is not weakness. It can shorten the time you spend alone inside the cycle. You may also need practical boundaries. Delete saved numbers if contact is not necessary. Block or mute channels that pull you back. Return belongings through a safe third person if direct contact creates risk. Avoid places where you know you will create an excuse to meet. A boundary is easier to keep when the environment supports it. Do not rely only on willpower. Plan for the difficult moment. What will you do when you want a message? Who will you call? Where will you go? What will you read? How long will you wait before making a decision? A simple rule can help. When the urge appears, wait 24 hours before contact. During that time, read your reality note, speak to someone safe, and notice what triggered the urge. Often the urge becomes weaker. Maybe you were lonely. Maybe you saw a reminder. Maybe another part of life became stressful. Understanding the trigger helps you respond to the real need. If you are lonely, contact a safe person. If you are stressed, rest or solve the problem. If you are nostalgic, remember the full pattern. Do not use one person as the answer to every emotion. Rebuilding self-worth is also important. Painful relationships can make you believe you are too difficult, too needy, or not enough. Examine those beliefs carefully. Did the relationship help you grow, or did it teach you to doubt everything about yourself? You may have made mistakes. Take responsibility for them, but do not carry responsibility for another person's repeated choices. Your worth is not measured by whether one person could love you in a healthy way. Their capacity is not your value. You can rebuild self-worth through action. Keep promises to yourself. Set one boundary. Finish one task. Choose people who treat you with respect. Self-worth becomes stronger when your life starts showing that you matter. You may be tempted to enter another relationship quickly. There is no perfect timeline, but be honest about your reason. Are you looking for healthy connection, or are you trying to escape the emptiness? A new person cannot complete healing that you keep avoiding. Take enough time to understand your pattern. What warning signs did you ignore? What needs did you hide? What behavior did you accept because you feared being alone? What kind of relationship do you want next? These questions are not about blaming yourself. They help you choose differently. Rebuilding also includes forgiveness, but forgiveness does not always mean reunion. You may forgive someone in your own heart and still keep distance. You may release anger without reopening access. You may understand their pain without becoming responsible for fixing it. Forgiveness is personal. Safety and boundaries are practical. Do not confuse them. There may be setbacks. You may contact the person again. You may return once more. Do not use one setback as proof that you cannot leave. Study what happened. What made you vulnerable? What boundary failed? What support was missing? Then improve the plan. Recovery is not always a straight line. The important thing is to keep returning to the healthier direction. Over time, the bond changes. The person may still enter your thoughts, but the thoughts feel less urgent. You may hear their name without losing the whole day. You may remember a good moment without wanting to restart the cycle. This is what healing can look like. The memory remains. The control becomes smaller. One day, you may realize that you no longer want the old relationship back. You want the peace you built after leaving. That peace was not given to you. You created it through many small choices. You may still care about the person who hurt you. That feeling does not make you weak. But care is not the same as permission. You can care and still choose distance. You can remember and still move forward. You can grieve the future you imagined and begin building a different one. The bond may feel powerful because it is familiar, emotional, and connected to hope. You do not have to break it in one perfect moment. You can weaken it through daily truth. Remember the whole story. Protect your distance. Build new routines. Ask for support. Return to your goals. Choose relationships where respect is normal, not rare. The person may have been part of your story. They do not have to remain the center of it. Your life can continue. Your identity can return. Your peace can become familiar. And when peace finally feels like home, the old cycle will no longer feel like love.